Israel's military just issued an evacuation warning for parts of Tehran, warning that they would soon carry out strikes against military infrastructure there.
Protests have taken place in Tehran.
U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities.
Iran once finds itself again at the centre of a deepening international crisis. On June 22nd and 23rd, 2025, Israel and the United States launched a series of coordinated airstrikes against Iranian nuclear and military targets, including the underground enrichment sites at Fordow and Natanz, as well as facilities near Isfahan, according to The Guardian. Israel and US officials claim the strikes have significantly damaged Iran's nuclear infrastructure and missile capabilities.
I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history.
Though Iranian authorities have downplayed the extent of the damage, insisting that their nuclear program remains operational.
The warmongering and lawless administration in Washington is solely and fully responsible for the dangerous consequences and far-reaching implications of its act of aggression.
And for many months, Iranians knew that there may be a military attack on Iranian nuclear sites. So they have managed to move a lot of more valuable material out of these sites, given the fact that United States doesn't respect international law and they attack countries at will.
In retaliation, Iran have launched waves of missile and drone attacks targeting Israeli cities, including Tel Aviv and Haifa. According to CNN, Iran also reported explosions and strikes in central Tehran, though the full scale of casualties remains unclear. The exchange has sparked widespread international concern, with world powers such as the UK, France, Germany, Russia and China calling for immediate de-escalation and a return to diplomacy. Perhaps the most economically alarming development came as Iran's parliament voted to authorize the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a key maritime choke point through which nearly 20% of the world's oil supply transits. As reported by The Guardian, this threat alone sent global oil prices surging past $100 per barrel, triggering fears of energy shortages and financial instability. At the heart of this escalating conflict is Iran's controversial nuclear enrichment program and its extensive network of regional proxies, including Hezbollah in Lebanon and militias in Iraq, Syria and Yemen. The unfolding events raise pressing questions about global security, energy stability and the potential for a wider Middle East war. Welcome to the Global Insight. Iran is a nation defined by its rich history, strategic geography and resilient people. Situated in Western Asia, Iran, historically known as Persia, has been home to some of the world's oldest civilizations, dating back to the Elamite kingdoms of the 3rd millennium BCE. Over the centuries, it has seen the rise and fall of powerful empires, including the Achaemenid Empire founded by Cyrus the Great, the Parthians, the Sassanids, and later the Safavid dynasty, which established Shia Islam as the state religion, a defining characteristic of modern Iran. Today, Iran is a diverse country of over 90 million people. The majority are ethnic Persians, but Iran is also home to significant minorities, including the Azeris, Kurds, Arabs, Baluchis, and others, reflecting its position at the crossroads of cultures and trade routes. The country's official language is Persian or Farsi, and its society blends ancient traditions with the complexities of a modern, globalized world. Despite enduring decades of sanctions and political isolation, Iran remains a key player in regional geopolitics, driven by its energy resources, strategic location bordering the Persian Gulf and Caspian Sea, and its deeply rooted cultural identity. Life in Iran has been profoundly shaped by the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which overthrew the Western-backed monarchy of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi and established the Islamic Republic under Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. The revolution introduced a theocratic system governed by Islamic law, or Sharia, alongside republican institutions, fundamentally altering Iran's social, political and cultural landscape. In the decades since, Iranians have experienced significant economic fluctuations, social restrictions, and recurring tensions with the international community. While Iran boasts a highly educated population and a rich cultural heritage, daily life is marked by economic hardship, exacerbated by long-standing international sanctions. These restrictions, particularly intensified in recent years, have contributed to inflation, high youth unemployment, and limited access to global markets. Socially, Iran remains a deeply divided society. Conservative religious values influence many aspects of public life, including strict dress codes and limitations on freedom of expression. Yet, younger generations, who make up a significant portion of the population, have increasingly voiced demands for reform, greater personal freedoms, and improved economic prospects. Despite these challenges, Iranian society remains resilient. Cities such as Tehran, Isfahan, and Shiraz continue to serve as cultural and economic hubs, while Iran's technological and scientific sectors, including nuclear research, have advanced considerably, often in response to external isolation. Iran's political system is a unique hybrid, combining elements of Islamic theocracy with republican governance. Established after the 1979 revolution, the framework is defined by a constitution that enshrines both religious oversight and elected institutions, creating a complex and often opaque power structure. The apex of authority is the supreme leader, currently Ayatollah Ali Khomeini, who holds the highest position in the state and wields significant influence over the military, judiciary, media, and key aspects of foreign policy. The supreme leader is appointed for life by the Assembly of Experts, an elected clerical body with the constitutional authority to oversee and, if necessary, remove him. The Iranian government also features an elected president who serves as the head of an executive branch and is responsible for domestic administration, economic management, and representing Iran in certain diplomatic affairs. However, presidential powers are constrained by religious institutions and the supreme leader's authority. Legislative power resides with the Islamic Consultative Assembly, or Majlis, a 290-member parliament elected by popular vote. While the Majlis debates laws and approves budgets, all legislation is subject to review by the Guardian Council, a powerful body of clerics and jurists. The Guardian Council, half of whom are directly appointed by the Supreme Leader, also vets candidates for elections, effectively limiting political pluralism. Iran's military is divided into the regular armed forces and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, an elite paramilitary organization tasked with safeguarding the Islamic Republic's ideological foundations. The IRGC has expanded its influence beyond security matters, playing a major role in Iran's economy, regional military operations, and strategic policymaking. This complex system has contributed to enduring tensions between reformist and conservative factions, often manifesting in contested elections, public protests, and power struggles within the political elite. Iran's modern history has been shaped by a series of conflicts that have defined its regional role and global standing. The most significant of these was the Iran-Iraq War between 1980 and 1988, one of the longest and deadliest conventional wars of the 20th century. Sparked by territorial disputes and fears over the spread of Iran's revolutionary ideology, the conflict devastated both nations, resulting in an estimated 1 million casualties. Despite years of fighting, neither side achieved decisive victory, but the war entrenched Iran's strategic focus on self-reliance in defense and heightened its mistrust of Western powers, many of whom, including the United States and European states, provided material support to Iraq during the conflict. In the decades since, Iran has adopted a strategy of asymmetric warfare, expanding its regional influence through proxy groups and aligned militias. Iran supports organizations such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, various Shia militias in Iraq, the Houthis in Yemen, and the Assad government in Syria. These alliances serve Iran's strategic objective of countering US influence and challenging regional rivals, particularly Israel and Saudi Arabia, both of whom perceive Iran's regional activities as direct threats to their security. The Iranian leadership views this network of proxies as essential to deterring external aggression and projecting power beyond its borders. Conversely, Iran faces opposition from a coalition of states led by the United States and Israel, as well as Sunni Arab nations, wary of Tehran's regional ambitions and sectarian influence. The ongoing hostilities, manifested in proxy wars, economic sanctions, cyber attacks, and military strikes, reflect deep-rooted ideological, geopolitical, and security rivalries that continue to destabilize the region. Iran's nuclear program has been one of the most contentious issues in international relations over the past 2 decades, with roots stretching back to the 1950s under the US-backed Atoms for Peace initiative. However, since the 2000s, the program's expansion has triggered widespread concerns over potential weapons development, leading to cycles of negotiations, sanctions, and military threats. According to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, Iran's nuclear timeline accelerated after the discovery of undeclared enrichment facilities in Natanz and Iraq in 2002. These revelations sparked international outcry, resulting in years of negotiations and punitive economic sanctions. Iran has consistently asserted that its nuclear activities are for peaceful, civilian purposes, including energy production and medical research. A landmark moment came in 2015 with the signing of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, between Iran and world powers, the US, UK, France, China, Russia, and Germany. Under the JCPOA, Iran agreed to strict limitations of its enrichment activities and intrusive international inspections in exchange for sanctions relief. However, in 2018, the United States unilaterally withdrew from the agreement under President Donald Trump, reinstating severe economic sanctions. In response, Iran gradually scaled back its compliance, increasing uranium enrichment levels beyond JCPOA limits. By 2023, Iran was enriching uranium to 60% purity, a level technically below weapons grade but far exceeding civilian energy requirements. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, has warned that Iran now possesses enough highly enriched uranium to produce multiple nuclear weapons, should it choose to pursue weaponization, though Tehran denies any such intention. The situation has further deteriorated in 2025, with Israel and the US citing Iran's continued nuclear advances as justification for recent military strikes on enrichment sites, particularly at Natanz and Fordow. These developments mark a dangerous escalation, with the risk of direct confrontation growing alongside fears of nuclear proliferation in an already unstable region. Iran occupies a pivotal and deeply polarizing role in global affairs, strategically located, rich in resources, and driven by a complex mix of ideology, security concerns, and historical grievances. Its internal politics, regional alliances, and nuclear ambitions continue to fuel cycles of confrontation and instability, as demonstrated by the most recent escalation with Israel and the United States. The current crisis underscores the persistent risks surrounding Iran's nuclear program, the vulnerability of global energy markets, and the enduring rivalry between Iran, its regional adversaries, and Western powers. Despite international calls for restraint, the combination of hardline leadership, proxy conflicts, and escalating military actions presents significant obstacles to de-escalation. Iran's future trajectory, whether through diplomacy, deterrence, or further conflict, will have far-reaching consequences for Middle East stability and international security. Understanding the country's internal dynamics, historical experiences, and strategic calculations remains essential for assessing the risks and potential pathways ahead. That's it from the Global Insight team. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you, particularly if you have a connection to Iran. But until next time, stay tuned.